So thank you so much for being here with us on the Rising Strong video series. We're delighted to have you, and we know that we're going to have a great time today. So to start off, please tell us your name, about yourself, and share a bit about your immigrant journey.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here. My name is Tecla, and I think I came to Canada in 2019. That's when my immigrant journey started, and I was coming from Zimbabwe. So coming here, I left my 2 kids and my husband back home, and I think my youngest was 1 year 3 months,
wow.
And my eldest was about 3 years. But I was also hoping that they would join me soon,
right.
you know. So yeah, I came in 2019. Then COVID happened, and a lot of things along the way just changed everything, and a whole lot of everything.
Right.
And I managed to find and see my family, I think after 4 years in 2023.
Wow, just last year.
Yeah, so for me it was quite a journey.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was quite a journey, yeah.
I can imagine, wow. But I'm glad that you have your family with you now.
Finally.
So how old are your children now?
My eldest is turning 6. Okay. He's turning 8 on the 6th, which is Saturday.
Okay.
Then my last born turned 6 on the 15th of February. Right. So it's 6 and 8.
Oh, 6 and 8. Okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so just on to the next question. Please tell us about your current occupation and any other activities you're currently engaged in. So maybe in terms of volunteering or any other thing that you currently do.
So I'm currently a master's student at Yorkville University. I'm completing my master's now in counseling psychology. And I currently work at YW, where we support a group of vulnerable women with a whole lot of different things. I'm a tenant support worker there, so we do a lot of crisis intervention. We do a lot of companionship support. We provide support in different aspects of their life, supporting them in activities of their daily living, you know, doing programming for them so that they feel at home, just being there for them. It's something that we do there, and it's something that makes me feel good. And I also work, I know I'm a jack of all trades, so I go everywhere. So I also work with Kind Minds Family Wellness, where I'm the cultural facilitator there. So I coordinate the children's book club and the seniors club at Kind Minds. And in terms of volunteering, I'm a volunteer with Rising Strong. Obviously, that you know. And yeah, I'm also a board member with Interfaith Counseling Services here in the Waterloo region.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's an impressive portfolio. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
So that goes right into the next question, which is, how would you describe the relationship between your experience from your home country and so experience now in terms of your career path and education and skills and all of that, and what you currently do now in Canada? How would you describe that? Is there any relationship? And if there is, how were you able to?
I think looking from where I was, yes, there is a relationship, but also there was change along the way. Like when I was in Zimbabwe, I did my bachelor's in political science. So I did mostly research and more of community engagement. So even when I came here, I was looking forward to I wanted to do a master's in public policy and just go through that line. But when I came to Canada, I also find that Canada, it's a land of possibilities. You know, you can create new destinies. You can maintain old destinies. So with all the jobs that I did, like from coming to Canada with the experience, different cultures, meeting different people and doing a lot of things, I got motivated to change and focus mostly into counseling. So there is still a relationship between them, but academically I had to take like a different path than the one that I was in before and the one that I was looking forward to do. Right.
Well, that's really interesting. So that makes me want to ask, how then were you able to? Because I know with the system here, you need there's some strict, requirements for when you want to do your masters in some courses. So did you already fulfill all of those requirements from your home country, or did you have to take any extra courses or
So for one to do counseling, they require some prerequisite courses relating to counseling and some experiences. So I did a lot of research, like when I was here, like, when I landed in Canada, now I looked at public policy and I was like, maybe that's not the way I want to go now. I was like, maybe let me go into nursing. Like, I had always wanted to be a nurse. So I was like, maybe let me just go to nursing. And I did all that. And I also worked closely with the nurses. And I was like, I think this is really not for me. So when I was working in the home, I worked as a PSW and I was seeing the nurses giving injections. I was like, no, I'm not really a needle person. Like, even when I'm standing next to the nurse that may be doing some wound care and I'm there, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't think I can handle this. So I remember I had my novel, so I had a diary. So in my diary, I had about 30 occupations that I wrote. Wow. So like today I'll be like nursing, then I will write. If I see something new, I'll be like, maybe I can do this. Oh, wow. So I'll be doing research and counseling, all the things that I'll be like, if I do research, then I see like, not for me. So with counseling, they needed some prerequisite courses. Like I think, I know it sounds crazy, but I think I wrote emails to every Canadian university that I would see that offers masters in counseling psychology, asking them like, I did ABCD, but my experience resonates mostly with counseling. I have these skills that can also work better with counseling, but they all wanted those different prerequisite courses. Then I reached out to Yorkville. So Yorkville University said, with your experience, we can take you, we take people from all fields based on their experience. So I was like, yes, this one is for me. I got it.
Wow.
So it was after a long pause. I think I had also started inquiring about how to do those prerequisite courses. There were about 3 or 4 that they needed in most universities. So Yorkville was the last one that I had to check, because it was a private university. So because it would be more pricey. So I already put it off my list. Like I was on my way to start over. Like I was willing to start over, just get the prerequisite courses that they need. So with Yorkville, then I did my application. I sent them my cover letter, and it seems they were impressed with it, and I just got admitted.
Wow, that's amazing. So you know why I find that story very amazing? It might seem like, maybe to you, because you went through that journey, you're thinking, you're just telling the story. In the story that you told now, I was able to pick a lot of intentionality, because it takes somebody who is intentional to write that list and be very clear, because you were even able to identify to the point where you were writing stuff down, right?
Yes.
I see a lot of flexibility also for areas where you felt like, this is not for me. You were willing to make the change. I see a very high level of self-awareness, because you were able to figure out, this is not for me. Let me just, make that switch. I see tenacity, because, you said you wrote emails to almost
every Canadian university that offers that program.
Is spectacular.
And almost all of them were saying, no, we need these prerequisites. But I never gave up. Like, I knew what I wanted. So I kept on checking.
Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah. That's very powerful. And then lastly, I see your willingness to pay the price, because number one, you did a lot of research. And then number two, you said, at the point when it was looking like you had to do the prerequisite courses, you were already making inquiries and preparing to, go ahead and do those courses. So I think you should be applauded. I'm going to get that thing, honestly. There's this,
there you go.
Where I can, make that sound for you. I say, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Okay. So the next question is, and I'm reading because I don't want to get things wrong. The next question is, on our personal journeys often come with challenges, and that's a given. In fact, what you've shared so far shows that, there are challenges. Every day we have to live with challenges, right? So I was wondering if you might be able to share any challenges or difficult moments that you had to deal with or go through in your journey here in Canada, maybe different from the ones you've mentioned already, and share how you were able to navigate through those challenges, and if there were any resources that you found useful that helped you to navigate successfully through those challenges. Would appreciate it if you could mention that.
Yeah, I think like with every immigrant journey, it comes with challenges. And, looking at Zimbabwe and Canada, these are two different countries. Like, they're way too different in way of life, culture, everything, economy-wise. Like, everything was just so different. Like, when I landed in Canada, I remember the first days I came in, like, I was so depressed. Like, I was just going through, like, a lot of depression. Like, now I'm finally here. Like, it's totally different from some of the things I see on the internet. Like, I just thought the day I'm landing in Canada, I would just say, I have a bachelor's degree in ABCD, and the first job I send my application to, interview, and I get it. But no, it was the complete opposite. The complete opposite. You send applications after applications, no response. Even adapting to culture. We have, like, completely different cultures. Like, I think culture shock was one of my hugest blows in Canada. Like, I remember when I first came here, I was talking to this other police officer. So this officer was asking me, like, a lot of different questions. So when I was answering, he ended up saying, I've been a police officer for more than 25 years. It didn't take me time to see that you are lying. And I'm like, to me, I was shocked because I was telling the truth. I'm like, how am I lying? And he said, you failed to maintain eye contact with me from the first time I was asking you these questions. You're just looking down.
Right.
So it really dawned on me that, oh no, Canada is just so different. Like, I had to tell him, like, no, in my country, when you're talking to elders, when you're talking to people of authority, we look down as a sign of respect.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, like, no, here you have to maintain eye contact. So body language plays a huge role in Canada. So that's just one of many others. And I remember I worked in a call center, and, each phone call that I would ask will start with, like, you have an accent. Where are you from? Even when you're trying to pronounce other words, like, what are you saying? What are you saying? Like, and customers would get so mad, and you're trying so hard to twist and tune so that they can hear. Like, in my country, when I'm saying Richard, I say it's Ara, and here it's R. Like, it was just so hard. But it also came with, a lot of adaptation, a lot of learning, which is also one of the things that I enjoyed on some of the challenges that I faced, because they are what made me now. So it also made me want to learn more about this Canadian culture. How can I relate to Canada? How different is Canada from my country? Like, I realized it's not going to make a change for me to just sit down and start crying and sit down and say, I miss my kids, I miss my family, I miss my life, I don't have any friends. And oh my goodness, when the cold weather came,
another story.
It was just so hard.
Yes.
But I decided to look for solutions on how can I get myself, like, I wasn't liking the me that I was turning into. I was finding comfort in sleeping. Like, I would sleep long hours. Whenever I'm home, I'm sleeping. Like, not because I'm enjoying this sleep, but I was actually getting depressed. So I remember I went to Canada Mental Health Association for some counseling. Someone told me that, they offer some counseling services. I also went there, so that was also one of my pillars of support that I got. And also in terms of looking for jobs, I also reached out to YMCA and some multicultural centers. Okay. So there they used to have, like, some job fairs. They'll help you with things like creating your resumes, and they'll be showing you different sites on where you can apply, and a whole lot of things. And I also found comfort in volunteering, because I remember I started volunteering with Canada Blood Services in St. Catharines. And I'll find it fun. At least I'll have a reason to look forward to. Like, at least I used to go there every Saturday. So at least I'll be looking forward, like, at least I can go out, and it was different. And and I also realized that sometimes you have to go with the flow. So I started looking, like, what course can I do so that I can fit in, that will make my job easy to go into this Canada system. Because even when I came, I think after some time, I finally got a job in a factory, and Yeah, I lasted like a very long 3 weeks, and it was so long. It was
A long
so
3
long.
weeks. Wow.
It was so long, and it was so hard. I was like, no,
Wow.
I can't do this. I can't. So then I went to school. Yeah, I left. It was in the middle of the shift. I think around 2 p.m. We closed at 4. After lunch, I just went to my supervisor and I was like, I think I'm done. I tried, but I can't. Like, I just have to go. Like, it was so hard.
Wow.
So I left. Then I went back to 0. But yeah, I managed to, like, I'm someone who always loved research. Like, yeah, so since back home when I was an intern, I did internet research organization, so I'm good at research. So I went there, I started researching what can I do to get a job. Then I realized I might not get the job that I need at the moment, but I need some stability. I need a job where I'll be stable. So I took a PSW course.
Okay.
Once I took that course, then I got a PSW job, so that was stable. At least now I had a job, and I'm also grateful for that job that I took. Like, I didn't see myself staying there for long, but when I was there, that's what actually motivated me to now focus more on counseling due to different people and different populations I was seeing. You know, people who are in pain, families who are now parting with their relatives who are at their end of life journey. You know, having conversations with certain different people. It also motivated me. Like, sometimes I want to help. I really want to have a conversation with you, but I don't have the right words that you want to hear at the moment. And it's just so hard. So, yeah, part of those challenges, what made me here today, what made me what I am today. So, yeah, I'm grateful for that.
That's wonderful, I think. And I can relate with so many parts of your story, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all of that. You know, so when you see me laughing, it's not because I don't value your story, it's because I can see myself very much, you know, in that story, especially the part where you were talking about in customer service, the accent, and I remember a story.
Yeah, that was so hard.
I had my call, so I had a customer service job, a call center job initially, and my job was to make outbound calls. And I had a script to introduce myself.
Yeah.
So in that script, I don't want to, one was the name of the company, which I can't mention right now, which I was not pronouncing in the Canadian way and the American way. And it was a huge struggle. I was calling it T fully, and I wasn't, they wouldn't understand what I was trying to say. Anytime I tried to do the T, they would say, you mean this? And then I have to make the change. The other one I can say, it's a word. So it's maintenance. But from my home country, I think even the British, I'm not sure right now, I can't remember, but from my home country, we would say maintenance, you know, maintenance. So when I call them, I would say, I'm calling, you know, for maintenance. And I'm thinking, they should understand. And they go, oh, sorry. And then, you know, there's a lot of, until I had to learn how to say maintenance. So my headache kind of reduced. Even at that, there were still many dropped calls. People hung up on me. People said horrible things to me, and, you know, we kept moving.
Yeah, I remember telling someone, I wanted to say recipe, like a recipe. I'm telling them, and they were wondering, like, how does receipts work with cooking? I'm like, not receipts, recipe. like. And then after some time, like, recipe. I'm like, wow.
Right.
But I'm grateful now. Now I can say any word.
Right. Which is great. And I wouldn't really say correctly, honestly. Maybe in the Canadian way.
Canadian,
in the
Canadian
our way of saying it wasn't wrong.
Exactly.
It wasn't wrong. It was just different, and it was just something that people are not used to. So maybe if you're looking at it from a customer service lens, you may want to make adjustments so that the customer understands you. But I don't think the way we were saying it was wrong.
Yeah, but at least, like you're saying, like, that's the good thing. Like, we managed to learn, and it also helped us adapt easily when having conversations with, you know, different people. Now we can hear each other without repeating each question. Like, what?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
What are you saying? Yeah, that's it. So I just also wanted to say that there were two things that you said that really stood out for me. You talked about how you were not liking the you that you were turning out to be. So that means you were mindful enough to be able to recognize that, oh, this is not me. So you don't get lost in that, you know, state that you were, you know, going into then. I also like the fact that you pointed out that, you know, all of those challenges that you went through, it was difficult, it was tough, but it kind of led you towards the journey of, can I say self-discovery? or where you are right now in terms of being able to do. I think you really, really, really wanted to do your master's in counseling psychology. For you to have sent all of those emails, you really wanted to do it.
Oh, I was so motivated.
So I think that something great came out of all of those challenges then. So that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. So the next question is also related. It's about the challenges that new immigrants often go through, in terms of the process of settling and thriving in the country. I think you even described many of those things already, being unemployed, being underemployed, and the kind of toll that can take on a person's mental health, right? So what would you say would be your advice for people who are going through that right now? Another very common thing that we have heard in our work at the Successful Newcomer is people are struggling with self-confidence. So people are coming from like the top of their careers, or they're doing very well, high-flying people, and then they come here and they say things like, I can't even speak at meetings without my voice shaking. I'm having palpitations. I feel like I'm not good enough. So what would you say did you ever go through things like that? And what were some of the things that helped you navigate that, in terms of managing your mental health? I know you said you got therapy, so thank you for sharing that. If there's anything else that you'd like to share, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I also, just like you're saying, like I've besides me being there, I've also had a whole different friends, family, other newcomers who also be sharing the same, their stories from the same point of view. That's actually true. Like even for me, I end up thinking like, I think I'm just useless in this country. I think I'm not good at anything. Like even jobs that I was qualified for, I end up not even applying them. Like I just gave up on a lot of things. So for me, I think what I can say is it's normal to experience all those things.
Right.
It's normal, to apply for jobs you're qualified for and don't get called for an interview. I think I applied for more than 60 jobs on Indeed, and there's no phone call, no interview, rejection after rejections after rejections. So I can say it's normal. Like, looking your history will not help you change your future. You can look back and say, me, I was this successful lawyer in my country, but you're not back anymore. You need to look where you're going. You need to understand, yes, I was this successful lawyer in my country. Now I'm in Canada. What do I need to do next for me to continue being that successful lawyer? So sometimes you might start down, you might start from the bottom, you might work for jobs that you're not qualified for. That's good. Those challenges will push you. Once you get that job, it will push you that this is not the job for me. You need to go out there, you need to look for resources. You need to create, safer spaces around you, be it the friends that you spend your time with. For me, I ended up telling some of my friends, I think in Canada, I made a lot of friends. But some of the friends that I made, I also lost a lot of friends. The times I started realizing where I wanted to be, because some of those conversations, I remember telling some of my friends that I want to be a teacher in Canada, when I still had my long list. I had a lot of, each time I would see someone and they'll motivate me about their job, I would just see myself wanting to be, I was telling them I want to be a teacher, or I can be a university lecturer, and they were telling me oh, with your accent, who will even listen to you? You can't even pronounce the words. They were laughing, they were laughing at how I used to pronounce certain words. And I believed them. And that is when my dream of me wanting to be a professor, a teacher, a lecturer died down. So I also realized that, and also I came across some other friends that whenever I would share this is where I want to be, they would comfort me, they would push me, they would make sure to push me, make sure you apply. They would tell me I remember one of my friends, she told me, I applied 90th, my first interview after applying on Indeed was on my 93rd application. She said, so I got so motivated. Each time I would want to explore new things, I now realize that, no, there are certain people that I need for me to be at a certain stage in life.
Right.
There's a saying that, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. And in Canada, it really works. So if you are just surrounding yourself with people with a lot of negativity, that negativity will live with you. Yes. And your self-confidence will keep on going down.
Right.
You need to explore. You need to look at, what can I do don't be scared to try new things. It's a new country. You need to try new things. Like in Canada, try new things. Go out there, go to different events. You're going to make connections.
Yes.
Don't just small circle yourself like, I'm Zimbabwean, I'm looking for Zimbabweans to be my close circle. Yes, Zimbabweans will be your close circle. And you definitely grow more in Zimbabwean culture and Zimbabwean things, but you're in Canada, it's diverse. You need a diverse circle. Like now I have a lot of, I have now a new family with diverse people from, India, Philippines, Jamaica, Canada, England. They're all my family. And when we come together, I learn a lot of things.
That's beautiful.
So I think it's good to understand that every expert you now see, you admire in Canada was once a beginner.
Yeah, that's true.
And every beginner, they just didn't rise up. They were rising and falling, rising and falling. So if you fall, don't stay down.
Yeah.
Look for ways where you can go up.
Yeah, that's true. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank
I particularly love that you said that you can go down, but the challenge now is, or the charge now is, do not stay down,
That's true.
And then surround yourself with the right people, I always say shun negativity. Flee from don't walk away from negativity. Don't run. Fly. Like
I like that. Like just go
run away from negativity, So those are very vital things that you share. So thank you. And I don't know if I said this already, expanding your network beyond your small cultural circle. You need your cultural circle, absolutely. For that sense of identity, connection and all of that, but also looking beyond your cultural cycles and circles for support and all of those things. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
So what advice will you give to your new immigrant self if you could turn back the hands of time?
I think if I could turn back the hands of time, I would first of all tell myself that Rome wasn't built in one day. Because I remember I faced a lot of challenges, depression when I first came here, because I had a lot of expectations that I thought within this very short space of time I should have accomplished everything that I want to do in Canada. But I think to my old self, I would tell myself that it is important to take everything one step at a time. Because there were other times where I wished I could just skip the other steps so that I can just go here.
Yes.
But no, I tried that, it didn't work. And also with me facing facing depression, loneliness, isolation, I think one thing that I now enjoy now, that I now know that I should have known before, is prioritizing self-care. It is very important. Like even with some other people that I see, we tend to prioritize others, forgetting ourselves. Even as a parent, you tend to forget yourself, prioritizing, kids, husband, and you forget yourself, other family members. It is good, but now I know the importance of taking care of me. If I knew that when I came, if all those times that I stayed sleeping, if I had gone to the gym, if I had gone out to run, if I had, gone out even to the shopping mall, just to walk around and see different things, go to different events, meet different people, just do things that excites me. If I did that before, I know I would be a far much better person than I am now. So I think it's good to take care of yourself, give yourself grace, just take yourself one step at a time. I'll get there.
Right. Thank you. That's amazing. So talking about giving yourself grace and taking care of yourself, I really, really loved what you said about, everything happens one step after the other. And sometimes we're so impatient. We want to keep the first few steps. We're forgetting that in those first few steps, we're getting lessons and skills and experience that will help us effectively navigate the subsequent steps. So what happens is, if you miss those first few steps without getting all of those lessons and everything, you might end up being, where you want to be, but the fall is going to be massive, like a huge crash. It becomes difficult to maintain that level, and all of those things. So those are very vital things that you share. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So, You're into that
Now you're
attitude.
scaring me.
No. We're moving on to the mystery task. It's nothing. They're quite lighthearted. Nothing, serious. So I'm gonna ask you to pick a number from 1 to 14, and whichever number you pick, I will read out the task to you, and you have to do it. Ready?
What if I can't do it for some reason?
Well, because let's see. Let's even try first. Let's try first.
Number 3.
Number 3. Oh, okay. That's very. Why are people picking simple tasks? Share a random fact about yourself.
I'm a passive person. I can go out of my way to make someone feel comfortable, even if it's a lot uncomfortable for me.
Oh, right.
But I'm working towards that, though. I'm learning to say no to others and yes to myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to get that word again. You are a what person?
Like I'm passive.
Passive. Oh, so that's okay. Right. I never, came across that phrase and that understanding of it. So thank you for sharing. Yeah. Thank you. And I can relate. I've recently had to start saying no to a lot of things.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes.
I say no.
Exactly. I feel so bad when I make someone not so happy. But now it's self-care. I should be happy first before I make you happy.
Yes, that's very good. That's very good. I'm glad you're on that journey.
Yeah.
And I wish you all the best with that. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next question, the next charge is for you to please share a word of encouragement or inspiration for a newcomer or an immigrant out there.
I can say, welcome to Canada. Okay. And Canada, it's a land of possibilities. In Canada, what you see yourself to be, you can be. It just depends on the important steps that you take. So in Canada, there is need to adapt and grow. Whatever you might be going through, you might not be where you want to be today. Yes, it is different. You see it different. That's why it's called Canada, and that's why your country has a different name, which means they are all different.
Love it.
So it's also important for you to learn, to put yourself to know more about Canada. It's important to explore. Like for me, it was exploration. Like I told you, I was jumping from I want to be this, I want to be that, like a newborn kid. So it's important to try new things, learn new things, but you need to have a plan for your life. I remember someone was telling me that, the difference between a plan and a goal. Someone can have a goal, but most goals, they easily vanish than a plan. Even when they create like when they build a house, the reason why it stands is because it has a plan. A plan is written down. So write down where you want to be. Each time you see that, it's a constant reminder of where you are going. Even when you try to forget, to give up, just look at your plan to also motivate you, to encourage you. It might not be easy, but as long as you put your mind to do what you want to be, in Canada you can be anything.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I love the house analogy. You know how we keep looking at houses, I think, the house. But really, it starts from a plan, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually, maybe some people, I'm not sure, but, to just put stuff together, the house might crash. So that's a beautiful analogy. So thank you. And now we're moving on to the last task of the day.
I'm picking another number.
No, you're not picking a number, but it's called the 100-second question spree.
Okay.
So I'm going to be asking you different questions, and I'll set a timer for 100 seconds, and you will try to answer as many questions as possible within the 100 seconds. And if there's a question you don't know or you don't wish to answer, just say skip.
Okay.
So movies, music, or games?
Movies.
Okay. What's the title of the book you're currently reading?
Skip.
What is your favorite Canadian fast food brand?
McDonald's.
What's one word to summarize your Canadian journey so far?
Growth.
Sorry?
Growth.
Growth. Amazing. 3 things in your mental wellness toolkit.
Run, exercise, rest.
1 aspect of your culture that you're always proud to share.
Food.
1 myth you'd like to debunk about Black African immigrants.
The power of a single story. Poor.
1 resource you wish you had when you first arrived in Canada.
Family.
What's the first thing you do in the face of challenging situations?
Pray.
What's 1 aspect of the Canadian culture that you've embraced since immigrating?
Body language.
What is an unexpected community resource that's been a game changer for you?
Cultural events.
Okay. Finish the sentence. We can embrace our cultural differences by
Uniting.
1 thing you wish you knew before moving to Canada.
The harsh weather.
Wow, you actually went as far as
So I wasn't fast enough.
no. You went as far as 13 questions, sorry. So that's amazing. You went really far. That's great.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's nice. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
So that brings us to the end of the interview. Thank you so much for coming. It was wonderful to have this conversation with you.